Hey everyone, so I'm going to be doing a video that's a little different to my usual content, and I think it's, given that it's the start of the NALCS split, my boy Sherney's in the jungle here, I thought it'd be awesome to kind of break down why TL lose to C9 in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game, and if I were the head coach or the coaching staff at TL, exactly what I would pinpoint, which got them really, really far behind in the game, and why the real reasons as to why TL lost versus C9. So not what the Redditors are saying, not this guy got out jungled, this guy got outplayed, whatever. No, this is the core fundamental reasons from a head coach's perspective why they lost. So let's get into the details here. Before we get into the actual VOD, I want to talk about the summoner spell choice, and this is really important to identify. Doublelift is actually opted into heal, whereas Sven has teleport, so they actually have teleport advantage bot. Next, Jensen has opted into teleport, not cleanse mid. So these are two very important summoners to take into account as we go through this VOD. Talking about jungle pathing quickly, Blabber's gone for a 3-camp bot side as Lee Sin, whereas Shern's opted into a red, blue Gromp to get his level 3 as fast as possible, and now he's doing the loop back old school peanut path where you go clear bot the opposite side once, and then you loop all the way back to kind of add a bit of confusion into the enemy so they don't really know where to lean. And so you'll see this in a second as Shern finishes his Raptor camp here. Niski is leaning onto the top side of the lane because, for two reasons. He's expecting Shernfire to be on the bot side of the map, given that he started red, and he's leaning towards his jungler, which is sometimes a good habit to get into because Blabber's finishing his camps on top side. Because Shern's done this really nice creative path, started sweeper, he's able to blow a flash mid. Now this is absolutely important to talk about here. In competitive, blowing a flash, especially on an immobile champion like Veigar, is absolutely massive. Like, it is really, really big. So let's talk about this for a second. So let's just put all you guys watching, put yourself in the shoes of Niski right now. Let's say hypothetically you don't have flash, you're versing a Jarvan who didn't even have to blow flash to gank you, and let's just say you have no river control, you have no vision in the river. How do you think that will feel to play as Veigar? It'll be terrible, right? You won't be able to walk up and poke Azir. You'll be super scared all the time since you're just going to get ganked. If your wave is ever stuck on like this side of the lane, you're just going to be completely screwed. And if Azir pushes you in and then moves into river, you're not even going to be wanting to chase into river because you're going to be you're going to be shitting yourself, because if you get all in, you're just completely dead. There's no way of getting out of it. Yes, you do have a bit of self peel with your E, but again, if you're walking into no vision, there's no chance in your E being able to save you. So this is a really nice gank and a massive advantage for TL right here. So what should we see from TL? We should be seeing them putting an emphasis on bot river control now that they have no flash on on Niski. Abusing the fact that now Jensen with river control, if TL have river control, Jensen's going to be able to push out, abuse Niski, walk into river. They're going to win every single river skirmish here, guys. Now, Shernfire, finishes his path, ends up on bot side, getting the bot river scuttle, knowing that Blabber's getting the top river scuttle. This is completely fine. He didn't need to help Jensen shove out. He couldn't have helped Jensen shove out because it was too many ways, and then Niski would have teleported back. It would have become a nightmare. So Shern's ended up going straight into his bot side jungle, his bot side river to finish off this scuttle. So what does this mean for TL? What do we want to see out of TL right now? Well, we want CoreJJ ideally to be recalling quite early in this game to set up pink river control in bot river so they can threaten this Veigar to start dragon as early as possible, because dragon's coming up in a minute 10 and it's an ocean dragon, which is a really good dragon. A few things, I can't really tell what's happening about this early waves top, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Impact should know that Lee Sin's top side and Jarvan's on bot side, so maybe his wave's already screwed. Maybe there's not much he can do about it, but Blabber ends up blowing flash top side. But this is where the key error, in my opinion, starts for TL. So when Jarvan ends up bot side here, I think this is a really, really good opportunity for TL to get a recall bot. They need to get a reset bot because CoreJJ specifically needs to recall for pink wards. If he doesn't recall for pink wards, it's going to be very hard for them as a team to punish this Veigar. And what actually happens, and this is, I think, in my opinion, the first mistake, even though the Jarvan was in the area, they didn't use this as an opportunity to shove out. And then what happens is that CoreJJ and Doublelift stay in this extended laning phase. Now, Jarvan's coming out of base, goes back to his rubber banded camp, so his Gromp spawning, which is, pretty normal. Jensen shoving in mid, knowing that Lee Sin showed top, so it's an isolated 1v1 for a while. And this is what I really, really disagree with what TL do. Look at this. Look what they do. Doublelift and Core JJ were trying to be tricky here. They're like, well, if you stay in lane Core JJ and stop them from pushing out, then I can get a free Doublelift is I can get a free recall. I can nullify the fact that I have heal and Sven has teleport. So, you know, I can get a free recall. Yes, this is good for the isolated 2v2, but what do we see? What's the main reason this is the incorrect play? Vulcan's just saying, okay, well, your Senna's recalling. I'm just going to recall. So Vulcan ends up recalling, getting massive tempo on Core JJ, and comes out of base and is starting to walk. He pings straight away here. Vulcan's walking out of base and heading straight into bot river. So what does this mean for the game state? Well, it means that, or the second mistake before we get into this, is that Jensen teleports back when his opponent has no flash, with an Amplifying Tomb, a Doran's, and Boots. He doesn't buy a single pink ward, and this is absolutely disgusting. When you want to push forward your lead and you already know that you've blown a flash, pink wards are more important than ever. Pinks are more important when you're ahead than when you're behind, because it allows you to exert, like having vision will allow you to be able to push your lane out. It will allow you to do a lot more things. It will allow your jungler to have a lot more freedom to help you set up ganks. It just does everything better. And the fact that he doesn't buy a pink ward here is disgusting. I think he shouldn't have either bought Boots, maybe got a refillable in a pink, something like that. I just think this recall, that specific itemization is really, really bad. So what do we see? Vulcan's coming out of base right here, guys. He's going to be walking straight to river. Sven is completely fine, just farming under tower like he is. Now, what should be happening? Look at this. Blabber and Vulcan are now together with, he's got Lee Sin's got pink ward. Tom's got 2 pink wards. They've teamed up together, walking into bot river together. But whereas let's look at TL. Core JJ's still in lane, not having recalled. And Shern's like, well, I've got a pink ward. Shern's like, I want to walk into river here and get control, but my mid laner doesn't have a pink. My support's just chilling in bot lane, and even if he were to come back me out in river, he doesn't have a pink, so there's no point. So Shern's like, well, I can't come into river and put pink wards down because they're just going to clear it anyway. He knows that this Vulcan's missing, Tom's out of vision, roaming around the map, and he knows that, whereas Core JJ is just sitting in vision in bot lane. So Shern can't do anything. Shern's like, instead of going mid lane and getting control for my Azir, I just have to go and potentially clear my Krugs that he didn't even know that were down. He should have known that were down. And now he's stuck. He's completely screwed. Now TL, what went from a position where, you know, they'd blown this flash from Veigar, they could have played for complete bot river control, they are getting completely dominated. Now Jensen has to completely respect. He has no control, and instead of respecting, this is the next mistake Jensen makes. He plays aggressive, goes for an aggressive trade, and gets his flash blown. And this is exactly what Vision can do, because even though Nisqy has no flash, he knows that his team's in the river, backing him up, he has a side to lean on, and even though he has flash, they can set up these kills. And this is where it starts to get absolutely out of control. Now, Jensen doesn't have any sustain. He has no pots. He has no pink ward. Schönfire can't do anything. He can't kill top because there's no kill threat top. Like, there's no kill threat on Licorice. He has flash. He has dash. It's super hard to kill him. And even if he goes top, maybe he can blow a flash, but he's not going to kill him. And now they can never contest Dragon anymore. Shern can't walk into bot river. His bot lane still has, or his support still hasn't reset. Azir's just getting shoved under tower now with no flash, with no cleanse, so super, super vulnerable. Shern's completely screwed. He can't do anything. And this is all from before Core JJ staying in lane, them doing this weird little 80 carry recall and support recall, support stay in lane instead. Now they've got no river control and they're completely screwed. Now Shern's like, well, I don't know what to do. I can't go bot. I can't even help you get a recall bot. So I'm just going to have to maybe try and blow a flash top. And then he shows top, which allows Blabber to get a free dragon, which he could have got a free dragon anyway. And now the game's getting absolutely out of control. And now to top it off, and this is where things get really spicy, is because of this bot river control that they have, this also means that Doublelift and Core JJ are in a mega extended laning phase. Because Shern can't come, he's scared to walk down and come, and so Doublelift and Core JJ need Shern to come down and help them get a recall, especially for Core JJ. But he can't even do that anymore because they lose every 3v3 because they have no vision. And Veigar constantly has shove off mid and they have no river control. So this is the problem here where it gets absolutely out of control. They've lost their dragon. They lose the Rift Scuttle here again. And Core JJ still hasn't reset and it's nearing towards 7 minutes in the game. And now, because of this no river control, Core JJ and Doublelift can't even shove out and recall. So they're just stuck in this mega extended laning phase where they want to, I guess, play aggressively and play for this 3v3 bot, but they can't because how can Shern just walk into river like this? He just can't walk into river. They're taking really bad trades. And this is something I've been wanting to say for a long time. But people on Reddit and Twitter always talk about the 2v2 matchups. They talk about bot lane in an isolated 2v2 or mid lane in an isolated 1v1. It's not how the game operates. Imagine being Doublelift and Core JJ with no vision in river, not knowing where Veigar is. He's leaning out of vision, not knowing where Lee Sin is. These guys can play as aggressive as they want because they have the vision. They can lean out of vision. They don't know, like, TL have no idea what this bot lane is going to do whenever they duck out of vision. They don't know whether they're going to be walking out of vision to get deep wards. They don't know whether they're recalling. They don't know whether they're camping a bush. They have no idea what they're doing. So TL just have to accept reality that they're completely screwed. Now, because they've taken such bad trades bot as a 2v2, Shern still can't come bot and help them shove out. So they're stuck in this isolated 2v2 where Core JJ still hasn't been able to recall for any pink wards. And now Shern's like, well, what do we do? Like, we can't control bot river. I can't gank top. I can't kill mid. There's nothing they can do. And this is where it gets even more out of control, guys. Because C9 have complete bot river control and bot lane 2v2 control, they can actually duck out of vision like this. Like I said before, they can pretend they're roaming. They can pretend they're roaming mid to kill Azir. They can pretend they're getting deep vision. They can pretend they're camping in bush. But in reality, they can just actually genuinely recall. They want to play for this Rift Herald that spawns at 8 minutes now. Tarm's already recalled on the map for the second time, getting his next 2 pink wards. Blabber is going into top river now, knowing that that his bot lane is going to get here top first. And that's why he starts this Rift Herald. He knows that his AD carry and support are going to get here way before. And now Doublelift, he doesn't know where Tarm and Aphelios are. So he's still scared to still push out because he has no information. Core JJ now recalls, thinking that they've recalled. But it's too late. Look how much tempo Zven and Vulcan have on the enemy team. Niski and Blabber have put their pink wards on top river, and they've controlled river. And I remember seeing chat at this point saying, why are they giving Rift Herald? Well, how can they contest Rift Herald? Aphelios is already shown top. Senna is still bot with no teleport. Licorice has teleport advantage on impact, so he can just come here whenever he wants if a fight breaks out. And imagine being Shernfire. He has no defensive stats. He can just get baby caged into potentially 100 to 0 with a Lee Sin Q, Veigar, combo, and he just dies. Anyone just dies walking into River here. So now, not only have they lost all Rift Scuttles, they've lost Rift Herald, they've lost Ocean Dragon, and they've got no tempo. They're getting absolutely screwed on tempo and on vision. And this is where it's getting out of control. Purely from, in my opinion, from early on, when Core JJ didn't recall, what would have been a massive, massive advantage and a few core mistakes as it led to no pressure, all objectives for C9, full map movement. There's nothing they can do. Look, they literally have full river control on top side, river control on bot side, and Jarvan can't gank and he can't even kill these guys as a 2v2 anymore because Lee Sin's constantly out of vision and they have no river control, and Azir's super scared. What they actually need to do, the only thing the only way back into the game potentially is if Core JJ and Doublelift, or maybe just Core JJ and Shern go mid together through here with Azir, clear some vision, and then walk through back to top. But even then, I'm pretty sure they lose mid 2v2 super hard because Azir doesn't have flash from before, and they can 100 to 0 Azir because he has no defensive summoners and no defensive stats. So I think that the game is really, really hard to play from now on. And yes, it's not unwinnable for TL, but what I wanted to show in this VOD, guys, and by me kind of doing this little bit of VOD review, and especially in the early laning phase, is it's how a small missed opportunities for recalls, how a few miscommunications and not alignment between the jungle and support can then snowball to then mid laners struggling, AD carry struggling, then it just gets hard for everyone on the entire map. So, if I were the TL head coach, I'd be saying, look, Shern and Core JJ, you really need to know what objective you're playing for. You need to identify that you're playing for that early dragon, given that you've already blown flash on Niski. How are you going to control bot river? You need to use the fact that Jarvan was already on bot, giving you guys a free recall, maybe even walks into the lane, and Jarvan maybe potentially helps you shove that wave when he was there with you. They need to find a way to get Core JJ recalling at a similar time to Shern so they can walk out of the map together, get their vision, start controlling their vision, threatening Niski, leading to dragons. Then what would happen? Doublelift and Core JJ could actually win the 2v2 because they have a summoner advantage, given that Doublelift has heal and they've heal advantage over Sven, and then the game would be completely different. So hopefully sheds a little bit of light on the competitive part of the game and how a few core mistakes can lead to, it can snowball absolutely out of control. And yes, TL could have won, they could have played team fights better, but in my opinion, this is the stuff that's replicable into other games, and this is the core thing that they really need to fix moving forward as a team. So cheers, thanks for watching, guys.